Welcome to this video about creating a mobile-first nav menu in Blazor. The goal of this video is to show how we can interact with CSS code. To create the menu, I go straight to the main layout here. I delete everything, just the body in here. So now I will create a nav menu. Now first I will style the body, margin of 0, and font family Helvetica. So the nav, I will give it a background color of light gray, and the text will have a color of royal blue. I think these two colors match very well together. Now inside of the nav, I create another element. It's the header. This element will contain the logo and the icon so that we can expand the nav menu. We'll have a height of 80 pixels, display flag so that everything is aligned in a row, justify content space between so that the logo is pushed to the left hand side and the nav menu icon to the right hand side, align items flex end so that they are aligned at the baseline of the element. I create the logo, which is just a text. I name it the regional bank. So header and h1. I reset the margin because h1 elements always come with a lot of margin around them. So margin top is 0, margin right is 0, margin bottom 0, 2, and the margin left will be 15 pixels. The font size, I will give it 45 pixel. Okay, and then here the nav menu is just the image. Margin on the top 0, on the right 20 pixels, on the bottom I start out with 5, but I think I have to change that after I have seen the application the first time, and margin left is 0 pixel. Now the image, for the image I copy an icon in here. I have linked them in the video description. So that's that. Let's have a look. Okay, yes. I also have to delete the bootstrap files, otherwise they mess the whole thing up. And if you delete them, you also have to delete here this div, which gives the information if there occurs an error. So let's. You have to style it here. The image is height only about 30 pixels. Okay, so here I have to heighten up the margin on the bottom. I have 5 pixels now. I will just double that. I won't go into too much of a CSS tutorial, but just that it looks okay. That's the goal of it. So now I also have to make the expandable container. Call it expandable. It will have 3 sections. 3 sections because, as you know, the Blazor template gets delivered with 3 Razor components that are routable. The first one is just the home screen. Second one, counter. The last one, fetch data. So I have to style those two. The padding, let's start with 0 at the top. On the right hand side I make it 20 pixels, and the bottom now doesn't really matter. Let's make 0, 2, and on the left hand side 15 pixels again. Now height, I give it 200 pixels, and display none, because if we load the application we don't want the expandable to be expanded. We only want that to happen if we click the icon. Now, if a section is in the expandable, we want to style it too. Give it a border bottom of 4 pixel solid royal blue. A height, just say 50 pixel. Now we want to center the. No, we don't. We want to vertically center it and horizontally push the link to the left-hand side. We can do that by using a grid. Just justify content left and align content in the center. And I am also going to make it a bit bolder. So, okay. Now, okay, yes, we also want to change the links here in the expandable sections. So links always are getting shipped with underline, so I want to change that so that is there, so that they aren't underlined. Color, I think black, and font size just 20 pixels. So now I have to implement the mechanism to expand the expandable item. For that I make a code block and I define a boolean. I name it UI switcher string, and that's named display. So what is this? That's a read-only property. Here we are using the ternary operator. So display will always be the value here on the right hand side. If the UI switcher is true, yeah, sometimes the IntelliSense is a bit messing up. So if the UI switcher is true, so we want to have it switched, I just say block, otherwise none. As you may have guessed, these are the values of the CSS property. So I'm going here, style, display, using the razor syntax, and so display. So that's the way how we can change the UI in Blazor. I know in JavaScript you can do it a bit differently, but I think it works quite fine here in Blazor. And of course we have to switch this UI, and we can do that if we click on this icon here. So on click, switcher, no, UI switcher equals the changed value of the UI switcher. So let's have a look. Just to simulate a bit better, minimize the screen. Okay, so it works now. But If you are here, we also want to indicate that the user can get out of the expandable by clicking here again. So we are using another icon for that. That's the second icon that is linked in the description. Because I have introduced the UI switcher Boolean, we can just make a little if condition here. So if it's, oh no, that's wrong. So we are asking if the user wants to switch, then we are going to show the arrow that points upwards. And if the user doesn't have it expanded, we are going to show the possibility to expand it. So now it's a normal icon. We click it, we have the arrow upwards. And we can also change the page. Thank you very much for watching.